It's on time, Matt.
This is a miracle.
Yeah. That's the first time I've ever hit go live exactly when we were supposed to go live since the very beginning of the Merri Hour days.
That makes sense. Yeah, that totally tracks. It's busy lives.
Yeah. Well, you're all over the place this month, especially. Where are you right now?
I am currently in a hotel in San Francisco.
Is the weather nice in San Francisco?
I am still not sold on San Francisco myself. I think it is too. It gets too windy. It gets too chilly here.
Okay.
I don't need that in my life. So like the weather is fine for San Francisco, like 70s, but I'd rather be in LA. Like there's no comparison for me.
I mean, not right now though.
Well, I mean, correct with things happening, but like overall grand scheme, I wasn't thrilled the first time with the weather, and the second time we're here. I mean, it was gorgeous yesterday though, at least. So like we were at an outdoor wedding, and that was prime where it was. Still super windy, but we were at a wedding that instead of having a first dance, they had a first Pokemon battle that turned into first Super Smash Brothers battle. And it ended at the Taco Bell Cantina on the beach over here in San Francisco, which is like the best closing party venue for like a late night wedding hang.
Right. Mike wants to know, did you flee LA due to the storm? The answer is
inadvertently. I mean, like, yeah, like inadvertently I did in a way, because, you know, obviously we had this booked for a little bit, and all of a sudden this hurricane gets coming in. So technically we did try to avoid it, and hopefully we get home tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, Mike's super chat leans into that. Hey guys, can't stick around, but still wanted to show a little support. Hope everyone on the West Coast is safe from the impending hurricane. Yeah, I second that. Matt, ask me how I prepared for the hurricane.
I don't have to. I know already. How'd you prepare?
I prepared for the hurricane by going to Ralph's and buying peanut butter and bread and filling my bathtub with water.
That is correct. I mean, your diet doesn't change that much by eating nothing but peanut butter and bread for the next.
I've been watching a million TikTok videos on advice for things to do to prepare for the hurricane, and I saw many good tips that I probably should have taken. But the one that really freaked me out was someone was explaining, you know, if there's no water, you can't flush your toilet. But if you fill your bathtub with water, you could manually flush your toilet. So that became my top priority, and I did it.
Yeah, they're. I mean, like, you know, you're from the East Coast with me. Like, you should have all this knowledge and prep.
I've always lucked out ever since I was a little kid. Even when they weren't as popular, my folks always had a generator. And I don't think we've actually ever, even in the worst storms where we've lost power for like weeks and weeks and weeks, I can't remember us ever losing water.
Yeah, no, I don't think we did either. Where I grew up in Jersey, we're kind of like in a valley. So like when there is a hurricane or something like that, my town specifically, all the rainwater would like basically rush into where we were. So we would get flooded like every time.
Oh, wow.
I remember like school cancellations all the time because they had to use the school as a shelter. We had to, I think one of the bad ones, like really, we were 10 days, no power, no generator, and no nothing. Like one restaurant in town had a generator, and it was a pizza place. And so basically we basically had pizza for like a week straight because we couldn't cook anything. We couldn't do anything. Yeah, that was Sandy and all that stuff in Jersey. I remember some bad hurricanes.
Yeah, we had a couple bad ones. There was Sandy, Irene. What was the most recent one? It was during the beginning of COVID. I think it was October of 2020, and it was one of those ones where I remember us losing power out in New York for something like 3 weeks.
I forget the name of it. I mean, I was over here by that point too.
That's usually the worst for the neighborhood that I'm in, because I feel like, you know, the Long Island Power Authority is just like slow as fuck with repairing power line problems, and then it just takes us forever to get the power back and internet and TV. Like I don't mind hiding out from the rain with my internet and my TV, but the second that's gone, I am sad.
Yeah, I mean, I was, you know, working in the city at that point, so like I couldn't get into the city obviously because I was locked in by the water, and then like I didn't have power or anything, so I couldn't sign online. So like I had to.
Were you in the city for Sandy?
I'm trying to remember if that I think I was still living at home,
Gotcha.
but still doing that. So like, yeah, like my company was trying to be like, yo, can we like send you a car and like get you in the city to do your job? And I'm like, no, that's
Probably
literally,
not a good idea.
I can't get to you for that reason. What do you like? You can't send a car through the water. Like it's not.
I'll never forget like cars floating to the top of underground parking garages. I was living with Lonnie at the time, and we
Yeah.
were lucky that we had an apartment that was above the power cutoff line for Manhattan. So we were just like, I think something like 10 blocks south of us is where all the power got cut off for the rest of the island. But we were okay, and I'm very grateful for
God
that.
bless. Why does Rob Hunter say I look tired? I mean, I am. I'm very tired. My life
I
has been
feel like it's the
insane.
lighting. I feel like it's the
Well,
hotel
yeah,
lighting.
I'm
Like,
also
you
in a
can totally
hotel.
tell that you have all the curtains closed also. Like, it feels like night where
Oh,
you are.
there's nothing here. Like there's one window over there a little bit, but even that window would give like so little light, and there's just one single light here. There's no overheads or anything. Like it does feel a little cavernous.
Okay. We have Gia here with a super chat. Hi guys, have you watched The Crowded Room on Apple TV? Such a great show, and the performances of Amanda, Emmy Rossum, and especially Tom Holland are stellar. I have not watched that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the most positive thing I've heard about it. It was definitely on my radar, and then I started to hear some negative reactions, so it just like shifted in my list of priorities. But gee, if you're into it, maybe I will circle back and give it a watch.
Yeah, add it to the list of things that I have to watch. Just so many, so many.
See, this is some good advice. If the power goes out, I got oil lamps. That's impressive, and
There
plenty
you
of
go.
novels and comic books. So I did try to do this, but I couldn't get lamps, like extra flashlights and stuff in time because the batteries in the store were out and Amazon wouldn't deliver them in time. But I did manage to get this, like it's not like a external battery charger for your phone. It's like a big
Mhm.
thing. And it arrived in time. And I've had it plugged in since I received it yesterday, and it doesn't charge. Like I'm not like a dummy with technology. Like
Yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't
fairly
peg you as one.
advanced, but there's like this weird assortment of cables that came with it, and I can't get the damn thing to charge. So I'm pretty sure it's just like a
It
gigantic paperweight now.
I mean, listen, everyone needs a paperweight sometimes. I don't
I
No,
have
yeah, you should
candles.
return that. You should not have that.
I have my candy corn candles, so if the power goes out, my apartment will likely smell like candy corn for a very, very long time.
I mean, that's honestly not the worst thing in the world.
I mean, I
Like,
like
it
those
could
are
be
my
way
favorite.
worse.
All right, let's get some questions. Let me know if you spot any you like, Matt. Greg in the movies. Perry, now that your two favorite franchises, Scream and Jurassic Park, are 6 movies in, which would you say is the better franchise? Easy answer. Scream, without a doubt. I think Scream is way more consistent than Jurassic, even though I do quite enjoy watching all of the movies in each franchise.
I'm thinking. I mean, I'm now thinking on that and having to weigh both of them, and I think I might have to go. That's tough for me. I don't know. I feel like they both have.
Wow.
I feel like they both have their highs and lows. Like I would absolutely put like if you're talking about the lows for me, like Scream 3 being the bottom of Scream and Jurassic Park Dominion being the bottom for Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, obviously, both of them in there. I'm I like those are pretty comparable lows in my mind. And then you go to like the next lowest for would be JP3 for me, and also then the latest Scream. So I get maybe Scream. I think I might go with Scream because that is the edge. Like that's the edge point where like the
Mhm.
last Scream is still better than JP3 in my head. And then going forward, yeah, I think Scream
Okay.
does win it. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I thought I was
Yeah.
gonna go Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, but I'm Scream.
I've always said Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time, and Scream is
Yeah.
number two. But the Scream franchise is my favorite franchise of all
Yeah.
time, and Jurassic is number two.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that. Dominion was bad.
Final
Dominion was so
Destination
bad.
might be number three. Dominion was not bad. Dominion could have been better, but I still think it had a lot of really good ideas, effects, sequences. I loved the new characters that they introduced. I'm not going to make this a Jurassic Dominion review. Cheese wants to know why is no one taking Kate Winslet seriously for Lee? Isn't she the kind of actress who could easily score a second Oscar for a World War II focus film? I don't know why this is not on my radar at all.
I mean, in the general commentary, like, yeah, Winslet's a good actress, so I don't see why not. Have we heard anything?
I don't think so. Oh wow, Andrea Riseborough and Alexander Skarsgård are in this movie. Honestly, this hasn't really been on my radar very much. It seems it is expected to be released in December of this year. I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's got a great lineup here. It's got a great lineup. I am trying to navigate to see if it's got any. I'm probably like really freezing up too because IMDb sucks and I can't use it and talk on the show at the same time apparently. Let me see if it's got a festival release.
I was just gonna say, yeah, is it gonna play any festivals and get any buzz? Because I mean that's kind of key for those types of titles.
I mean, not necessarily. Oh, it is premiering at Toronto. I'm surprised I didn't write that down because I went through a pretty extensive Word doc creating process. Okay, well, there's another one that's
Word
going
doc
on the
creating
list.
process.
Huh. I gotta add that. Thank you, Eurocheese, for putting that back on my radar where it should have been. I could use this as an excuse to plug Andrew stuff. John wants to know, did you guys see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game that came out? Did you, Matt?
I already have it, yeah. I went to the premiere party in June and got a little play time in.
Well, that's
and
cool.
So I haven't been able to play it since release because it got released literally Friday and I was already here in San Francisco. But what I did play at the premiere party was it's fun if you played the Friday the 13th game and those other kind of multiplayer horror games. The balance is cool where it's 4 survivors against 3 of the family. The family all has weaknesses that you can, like if you're Leatherface, you can break through things, but he's not going to be like the quickest. If you're the hitchhiker, you're like agile and stuff, but you also can't do XYZ. So they found good ways to like make it a more team-based game if you're playing the villain or the survivor. And yeah, I think I'm ready to jump in. I know Brian Collins and a few people have been playing and they want me to get in some games, so I will be doing that this coming week.
Interesting. That has piqued my interest. Part of the reason why I brought this this comment up also is to shout out Andrew's wonderful t-shirt making. I'm going to drop a link in the live chat. Did you see the Texas Chainsaw 3D t-shirt he made?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He goes, guess who bought it?
Shocking.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Do your thing, cuz. You know, if that movie has to be so bad it's good, I am going to wear that everywhere I possibly can.
Such a bad movie.
It's such a bad movie. It makes no sense. Like I try to respect some of the, you know, the good, because there's always some good element of any movie. I mean, especially when you break down how many departments are involved to making any film. But you know, things like the years and the ages not adding up are just inexcusable, and like a character tripping over a baby fence. I mean,
I'll never forget that.
Just don't get it. Don't get it. All right, let me catch up with these super chats here. I think Vincent's our next one. Yep. Hey guys, been discovering Lynch movies. Favorites of his. What's my favorite Lynch movie?
Mulholland.
I'll be honest. I'm not like I respect all of his movies. I'm not a super fan like many are, and like I very much understand and respect why many are. Like in particular, you remember when I went to North Bend with Haley, the film festival?
Yeah.
They're very famous for their Twin Peaks association, and like the town was all hyped about it, and like, you know, I get why people love Twin Peaks. It was never really my thing.
I mean, again, like, you know, if it's not your thing, you're not going to be super stoked on it. But I mean, like Mulholland Drive, probably. I mean, I'll be basic, but sorry.
I'm being basic. I mean, that was a really exciting one for me, especially when I moved to LA, and then
I know driving Mulholland Drive.
Time I drove on that road.
It's one of the first things my friend John was like driving me around LA. Is he want to see Mulholland Drive? And I'm like, all right, like cool.
One of the first things I did when I got to LA movie-wise was I drove past the house that's the Nightmare on Elm Street house.
Yeah, all the horror. I still haven't hit all the horror ones. I know People Under the Stairs, that house is out here and stuff like that. So the Insidious house that's been in like so many movies anyway, outside of just
Dude,
Insidious.
I am convinced that literally every house I see in I'm convinced that every house I see is the Insidious house, and I'm convinced
Yeah,
that every mansion with a pool that I see is the Billy Madison mansion. Every movie.
it is. So I have been driving around LA and just like done the same thing where I'm like, wait, that looks like the Insidious house, and like 2 blocks later, I'm like, oh, wait, that looks like the Insidious
It's
house.
like, yeah, like none of them really are. I will
No,
say there was one time where I guessed the Billy Madison mansion, right? Do you know what movie that's in? I feel like we've had this conversation.
so in the other like the mansion in another movie,
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. Do
Ready
you
or
want a
Not.
hint? Yeah, it is. It's
It
Ready or
is.
Not.
Okay, so I was thinking of like the pool, like the ending where she's like walking towards the pool and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that
I
makes
thought
sense.
I asked that during a witching hour episode, and I'm like, this is gonna be another dumb moment where I think I know the location and it's not gonna be it. And they're like, no, it really is. I'm like, thank God.
Amazing.
I love both movies so much. Dan wants to know, have been binge watching Chucky, and it has catapulted my love for that franchise. The show is amazing. I need to binge that show.
It's fine.
Oh,
I like listen,
no.
I'm literally wearing a Bride of Chucky shirt. Like I am the Chucky super fan. And I really wanted to love this show and I'm having fun with it and I'm cool with it, but like I haven't been able to really get that enthusiastic about it. Season 2 to me is better than season 1. I think season 1 operates in they have fun, they have good ideas, they know what they want to do, but it kind of is restrained as a TV show where like it doesn't really operate well as one. Like the
Mhm.
function and structure isn't there. And while again, I love some of the kills, I love the way it's exploring things. I do kind of feel like the storytelling never comes together 100%. They fix that a little bit in season 2. They get to have a little more fun and tie things together. And I do think it's amazing that we're getting a Don Mancini, like the continuation of the story he's always wanted to tell versus, this was at the time when it was like, cool, we're getting the Child's Play spinoff. Is that going to create a new, timeline, basically a new Child's Play happening over there? And, what's going to happen with TV show? I'm very happy that the remake did nothing and the TV show is what took off because we're still getting the OG story going.
Yeah.
But,
It's true. There was a lot of complaining about that. It's like very
yeah,
baffling to me. And like I don't even think that movie is that bad. Like I kind of enjoyed it, but why would you create something why would you create a new film within a franchise that's still ongoing and still has an audience? It's just so strange to me.
yeah. Again, like
Really
it's
strange.
not what remakes should be used for, in my opinion. But
Yeah, exactly.
because like Megan, like we had Megan come right after that, and it's like
Yeah.
Megan did the whole AI doll thing. You didn't have to make a Child's
Yeah.
Play, like, and
And it did it better.
yeah, 100, oh,
It was,
100%.
and I think a big part of the reason why it was better was because it was original.
Mhm.
It wasn't, shackled to the expectations of this iconic franchise, and it let it, be free and be what it was.
Mhm.
All right, J. Scott for real. What's up, my friend? Been watching interviews with the Philippou brothers and am delighted to see how many you've done with them, Perri. I have done a lot of interviews with them. Did you meet them prior to seeing Talk to Me? Did their upbeat demeanor surprise you? I did not meet them before. We met for the first time at Sundance, which is where the film premiered. I guess I always do my homework. So I had seen some of their YouTube work. So I had a feel, I can't remember this super clearly, but I feel like I was somewhat prepared for their energy and their vibe. It was also a very big group. And like they all had that vibe. Like they were all just
Yeah,
like
it's
really,
crazy.
really happy to be there. And I find that feeling infectious and just so exciting. But I love those guys. I think they have all the promise in the world in this industry, and I am eager to see what they do next.
They're doing Street Fighter, Mortal, like, right?
I bet you anything Talk to Me Too happens before Street.
Well, I mean, sorry, yeah, like Talk to Me Too absolutely is happening. They announced that, so like that is knowledge now. But like I am correct in saying they were tied to Street Fighter, right? Like they
Yes.
got one of those
Yeah, yeah.
franchises. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start saying that as knowledge now. Can I borrow
Yeah, as
that?
we know it's knowledge now. Well, like because I had heard rumblings prior to the announcement, basically saying it was all but a sure thing. So like I don't know,
Yeah.
like you hear the rumors, and then all of a sudden like this is fact now. This is what it is.
Yeah. I got a lot of faith they're gonna stick the landing again with another one.
I hope so.
All right. Did you see any other questions that you liked? I was
Oh
just
yeah,
looking at the
there's some
supery
stuff.
ones. If you give me a
Yeah,
time, I can scroll back and get it.
Rob is worrying about my health because I think Screen
Oh,
3 is the
still?
worst.
Oh,
No,
well,
because
no, I mean, that concerns me for your health as well.
Screen 3 is the worst.
Oh, here's something that
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
okay, I'll address this because I've seen it. Since Ahsoka is now releasing Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, do you think Disney is going to do that going forward with Marvel and other Star Wars shows? I think it creates appointment TV viewing like HBO does.
I hope so. I do think that would be a great change of trends because
Huh.
I will be much more receptive to like watching these at a more reasonable hour than like I'm not gonna wake up at or sorry, not wake up, but like I'm not gonna stay up until midnight to watch something I don't
Yeah,
really care that much about. And then honestly, I'll just fall behind because I'll forget watching it. Versus if I can watch it at 6 o'clock, like yeah,
it's true. I think that's going to make a big difference, and I do hope that they wind up using this for future shows. Like whenever we're talking about week to week versus binge watching, like my preference just for how I consume stories is binge watching. I
mhm,
like watching things that way. But if I'm picking between releasing something in this particular way versus at midnight 3 a.m., this is the right way.
no,
Like I
this
don't
is
even
the
know what
way.
the like what was the point in the like what value did that have ever?
I honestly I don't know. That is a good question. Like that's I'm not the streamer expert, so I
Yeah.
I don't know what
Um,
value it has premiering at 3 a.m., when you could, but I don't know. I guess the idea is that people do like binging. I think it's what you just said though. I think a lot of people have turned to that mentality and, whatever that means. Like, cool, I guess you'll watch it at this time and, or not because it doesn't matter because you're going to watch
mhm.
it tomorrow morning or the day after or something of that nature. But like, I mean, even the inside baseball of it all, like just, screeners coming for critics, maybe not for these shows and the
Yeah.
critics having to like bang out a review at 3 a.m. if you're on the East Coast,
Yeah.
like, because like you're up watching it at 3, you're writing about it immediately because your review is dead if it doesn't hit immediately after the episode. So, I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah. Another reason why I brought this up is because I have seen it and you guys can get the exclusive social media reaction. I can't give my full thoughts and I won't until the review embargo lifts. So you will
Yeah.
get a review on this channel fairly soon at this point, but I will very lightly tell you that I did not love it. I found it very, very stiff. I found that characters that I love did not have very much personality. I do think it has promise because some of the characters it focuses on are some of my favorite Star Wars characters ever created. And it could just be a matter of, me needing to get into the groove of what the show is, or perhaps the show finding its own groove and improving along the way. But after 2 episodes, I did not like it very much.
I unfortunately did not make it to the screening. I have my screeners. I have not watched them yet, so I have nothing to add there.
Thank you for that, Matt.
You're welcome.
Any plans for TIFF this year? Yes, I am
No,
going. I
I
am
am not.
I am going to the TIFF. I am very excited. There are
Yeah.
lots of things I want to see. I
Mhm.
feel like the one thing that's on my mind right now is Next Goal Wins because I like Taika and I like
Nice.
his
Yeah.
movies. So I've got high hopes for that. But while we're on the topic of festivals, are there any Fantastic Fest movies you are most excited to see, Matt?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say shocked by the lineup, but I think like it's very indie heavy this year at Fantastic Fest, which is cool. I love that. I kind of love the idea that like even opening night is the Toxic Avenger, which
Yeah.
it's not The Exorcist, it's not Five Nights at Freddy's, it's not something that like we really had on our minds. So the fact that Toxie is the first thing, Peter Dinklage starring Toxic Avenger by
Macon
Macon Blair.
Blair
I know,
directed.
yeah.
I'm so
So
pumped for that.
so that's really cool. But yeah, so like I was looking through and like let me just pull a few ones because I do.
I'm really pumped for the creator, talking about some of the bigger releases on the
Oh,
lineup.
that's right, the
I'm so
creator.
curious to see how that came out. I'm a big Gareth Edwards fan, so
Yeah,
I am hopeful that he has stuck the landing with that one.
yeah. The creator's a cool one.
Oh, if you haven't seen In My Mother's Skin, Matt, you should see that. I really dug
Oh, I
that
haven't.
at Sundance.
Nice. Okay, so I'll keep that on the radar. Ones that I have seen that I love so far are River, which I talked about here. That's playing
Yes.
fantastic. So I very much you should go see River. You're gonna have a
River.
great time with it. And Baby Assassins 2, which I figured was coming, actually is actually hitting Fantastic Fest. So if you're into basically teen girl coming of age assassin films. Baby Assassins 2 is great. But yeah, so I found these. I found a few. I just highlighted on Twitter that sounded really interesting to me. Kill Dolly Kill is an 80-minute movie, and we love an 80-minute movie at a festival. And it is Dolly Deadly is out to win Serial Killer of the Year, and she'll violate all sense of good taste and snatch the crown and look fabulous while doing it. That's the synopsis, and I'm in immediately. There's also one called The Last Video Store. Again, 80 minutes. We love to see it. And it's about a video store employee in around the 80s or something like that. And all of the horror movie covers come to life, and all the monsters start attacking him and another employee in the video store.
Which title is this?
It's called The Last Video Store.
As you're walking me through these, I'm bumping some of them up. I've have a document with every single one listed. And I keep moving around them as I hear things that should be prioritized.
Yeah. So again, like I have not. These are all premieres, so I have no idea if they're good or not. But like, so those are two I immediately flagged. One called One Percenter as well. An aging stuntman caught in a brutal feud between Yakuza gangs finally shoots the pure action thriller he's been obsessing over his entire career. So it sounds like a stuntman gets involved in the Yakuza and films a movie while he's like battling them.
I love that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So like just some quick ones I'm highlighting there. There's a lot of promise. There's also
you spoke about a Sacrifice Game. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I heard great things about Suitable Flesh. I'm psyched.
Yeah, that's the one I've missed that one at festivals so far, so I'm really happy it's going to play there.
Nanachka Khan's totally killer.
Yeah,
great ensemble in that. There's so much I want to see. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was a little, again, shock isn't the word, but at the same time, like the fact that like the headliners really that people were expecting just aren't there, and there's still secret screening slots. I'm not going to say they're not going to show up, but I don't know.
I feel the House of Usher, man. I'm excited for that.
Yep.
That's probably one of my most anticipated titles on this lineup.
I'm actually that one. It did surprise me. I am surprised in the sense that I know Flanagan's a fan of the festival, and I know like it's not shocking to get him there, but that honestly, that Netflix would bring that there and like just focus on television as well. Like if we're being honest, like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, it just feels like there's no divide anymore. Like festivals we traditionally viewed as film festivals now almost all have episodic lineups.
Yeah, no, that's true. South by puts a huge stress on that now. They have a whole episodic lineup there. Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm excited for Fantastic, but like I'm banking on the fact that hopefully whatever doesn't play Fantastic will show up at Beyond Fest. So basically I go to Fantastic Fest and then I hit Beyond Fest when I get back, and then I go to Brooklyn Horror and like clean up whatever little indies I haven't seen yet. So like it's a nice little string of things to do.
RKSS has 2 films.
Yeah, they got 2. They have 2 there, and they look fun too. Like knowing them as filmmakers.
They're the directing team behind Turbo Kid. For anyone who doesn't know, and I highly recommend watching that movie. But I'm eager to see both of these new ones. Wake Up and We Are Zombies.
Yeah, the zombie one especially. The promo image they give brings the same kind of like practical vibe of Turbo Kid.
A violent take on a post-apocalyptic world where zombies are misunderstood, unalive citizens.
I like that idea.
Interesting.
Because like we've seen every zombie combination we've kind of seen at this point. And
I love the idea of this other one. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got really excited as I read this. So the synopsis for Wake Up is Gen Z activists are violently picked off by a deranged night watchman after sneaking into an environmentally destructive big box furniture store. It sounds like horror to me. Like,
I'm very okay with it,
because I guess it's a horror store is a little more it's more supernatural, but I love the idea of horror happening in an IKEA like setting.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ooh, somebody asked me who my keepers are in my fantasy league.
Where?
Literally a minute ago. Cinefly and Beyond. Yes, I do play keepers in my fantasy league, and we are a 5 keeper league. One of them is a rookie, and my keepers this year are Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Christian Watson was my rookie, which I am nervous about without Aaron Rodgers, but here we are. George Kittle, and we do defensive players. So literally, like I kept my linebacker Mosley for the Jets because he's a beast. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and I filled in my team nicely. I think I got Chris Godwin as my wide receiver number 1, basically, because again,
Very
I don't know if
nice.
I trust Christian Watson. I stuck in Brandon Cooks as he went to Dallas, so I hope that he's going to do well in Dallas. And I drafted Zach Charbonnet as my running back 2, which could either boom or bust. Like I know I took a gamble on that pick because he's up against Kenneth Walker, and they're both stud running backs, so they're
You
going to be
gotta go
fighting all
big
year.
sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's either going to
Gotta
like
go
win me
big,
the
take
league
your
or I don't
chances.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's usually what those picks are. They're either
yeah.
league winners or bust.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping Watson is fine with Love. That is my hope, but we shall see.
Yeah, I'm fucking pumped. I never told you and Amelia this, but we locked in a draft day and time for the Patreon Fantasy Football League. We are doing that Sunday at
Okay.
4 p.m. Eastern, which
Cool.
I believe is what you were hoping for. So
Yep.
that is happening. I wish Monagle was in the live chat because I would be like, dude, let's get shit going.
We're working on it. We're
Get
working
shit
on
going. I'm gonna keep nudging. I'm gonna keep nudging until it's a reality. Until I am signed up on whatever app we are using, and there is a draft date in the books. I will bother you all.
I like it. All right. Last question.
Last question. I mean, this feels like a good one.
That's fair. I am really the more and more I think about it and the more I see promo material, maybe this is not the pick that you would expect from me, but I think Haunting in Venice looks really fun.
Hey, it does.
I think that might be one of my most anticipated for the rest of the year, horror wise. Also I have, as a Nun defender, I really do hope the Nun 2 is good, and I can finally give Michael Chaves the positive review he's been trying to give him.
Can I tell you something really embarrassing?
Go ahead.
So I had the opportunity to connect with Michael recently, and he finally told me that I've been pronouncing his last name wrong this whole time. And I swear that I pronounced his last name this way because the first time I ever interviewed him, someone on that team told me that was the pronunciation.
Okay.
It is not Shaves. It is not Chavez. It's Michael Shavs.
Shavs. Okay.
Shavs.
I was told Shaves. That's why I've been doing it. But
done.
There you go. Now we know. We're done.
Shavs. That's
easy.
it.
Easy.
I felt like such a dope though, but he's lovely. He's lovely, and I'm always rooting for him.
100%.
I mean, because Fantastic Fest is on my brain. Yeah. Like I'm just like the biggest Mike Flanagan fan and the biggest Flana family fan, and that show is literally like an all-star cast from his previous shows. So that's really high up there for me. The other thing that kind of counts for something coming out later this year, even though it's actually in theaters this weekend. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see Birth Rebirth?
No, I missed that. So I got a screener for it at Fantasia, and I never got around to it. Yeah, I heard it's good.
I saw it at Sundance back in January, and I really, really loved it. But I had the opportunity to moderate something for them last night. So I rewatched it once for fun. I watched it again for little details, and then I caught myself watching it again. That's a pretty like well-crafted, executed, written spin on Frankenstein, and all the performances are great, but literally everything Marin Ireland does in that movie is like iconic. I'm totally obsessed with it. That is one that in my current top 10 rankings list for the year, it's in there right now. There is a chance, it could get bumped into the 15 section, but it's pretty high up for me.
Nice. I'm definitely going to prioritize that. Also, one I'll throw out that I saw at South by, I don't know if you caught it there or not, It Lives Inside.
Oh, yeah.
Like that just
movie.
Yeah, so like I think that actually came out already, or it's coming out like soon.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, so like if you don't have that on your radar, like I think It Lives Inside is I don't hear enough people talking about it and hyping it up if it is out, especially. So give it a shot.
I met him at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and we did a long interview that people can watch on the Collider Interviews YouTube channel. But like, lovely dude, super talented, and he knows his shit. I mean, I don't necessarily think that every single horror filmmaker needs to have, like a wealth of experience pouring through horror history and everything. I still think you can come to the industry with a unique perspective and make something fresh and exciting. But it was really, I don't know, it was really thrilling to me that he was just like rattling off all these titles and just had like this wealth of knowledge of genre history. And I think he got a lot of promise to make even more great stuff in the future.
Yeah, that was my little undersung hero from South by. I think it's the
Good
movie
stuff.
that surprised me most. So yeah,
Good stuff. All right. We're keeping it short and sweet today.
short and sweet.
Someone's got some San Francisco exploring to do. Good luck hiding from the wind, my friend.
Yeah, I wear a hat today, so my hair won't bother me. I'm fine.
All right. All right. We'll see you next weekend with another Merri Hour. For anybody in the Los Angeles area, please stay safe, stay out of the bad weather, and stay
Stay
home.
dry.
Bye
Bye.
bye.